Thank you, Senator, and thank you, Secretary, for being here. The first is to thank you for allowing transitional health insurance plans to be sold next year. 65,000 Iowans will benefit from that. This is something I've urged you to do. These are farmers and small business people, and it's chosen to keep their health insurance that they purchased between 2010 and 2013. My first issue is about over-the-counter hearing aids. Thank you for your commitment to implementing this legislation by regulation. The legislation that Senator Warren and I got passed to ensure that FDA finalizes the rules in a timely way and in a manner that Congress intended. Not what special interest groups want, and I don't know how those special interest groups are interacting with anybody in the executive branch, but I sure know how 4 major players weighed in heavily not to pass this legislation in the first place. The comment period ended January 18th. Can you give us any date when these regulations might be out?
Senator, those will be out very soon. I can't give you the precise date, but pretty soon, and you can hold me to that. But can I just say thank you for giving us a chance to do this, because without the effort that you all undertook, we'd still be trying to fight to give our family members decent hearing aids.
It's obviously not your fault that it took 5 years, but we passed the legislation, I believe, in 2017 or else early 18. Now, the next question deals with, I don't know whether you're aware of it or not, but it took about 8 months to receive answers to our written questions from last June's budget hearing. And I know members of Congress that you would be frustrated with this. Could you commit to HHS being more responsive to our written questions?
Absolutely, Senator. As a former member of this body on the House side, I know exactly what you're going through. We've received over 500 letters. We've had to do more than 500 briefings in this past year. It takes a little while, but I'm committed to make sure we respond as quickly as possible and are as transparent as we can be.
According to the Medicare trustees, the Hospital Insurance Trust Fund is expected to be depleted 2026. Unlike the Obama administration budget request, the Biden administration provided no major policies to improve the solvency of the fund. Am I understanding that correctly? Does the President Biden have a plan to address Medicare solvency?
Senator, we're prepared, as I think Senator Wyden, the chairman, mentioned, to work with you on a bipartisan basis. We know that there are solutions there. We know there is bipartisan support for Medicare, and we agree with Senator Biden as well that, Senator Wyden, that it is important that we look at the costs, not the benefits of Medicare as we move to reform the system to keep it going for a long time.
Lowering prescription drug prices are on the minds of every member of Congress, and you and I have talked about my work in that area and doing it in a bipartisan way. We're 16 months into a new administration, and both houses are controlled by the Democrats. We haven't made any progress on this issue. I continue to meet with Democrats and Republicans to move a bipartisan prescription drug bill. Recent public comments suggest that the administration may bypass Congress and take executive action. Questions in regard to executive action: is the administration preparing any executive action on drug pricing? And if so, could you give us some details?
Senator, with 1 in 3 Americans reporting that they're not taking their medication because it's too costly, we need to do something. We certainly intend to use whatever available authority we have to try to lower the cost of prescription drugs, but we're also very intent on working with you on a bipartisan basis to get something done. This is one area where everyone agrees the cost of prescription drugs are way too high, and we have to do something. So we'll look to use whatever executive or available authority we have, but we hope that we can work with you to get something done in a real meaningful way.
Just let me make a statement in my last 10 seconds. I hope the administration would engage in a bipartisan way to pass bipartisan price reform legislation, and I would suggest a good starting point would be things that Wyden and I have worked on. Thank you very much.